Different kinds of raw foodists. It is also important to understand that there are different levels of being a raw foodist. Here are the choices. Eat a 100% raw diet that doesn't include any cooked foods at all. Be a raw foods vegan where 100% of your diet comes from plant sources. This is optimal because you can still find raw animal sources of foods such as raw oysters and raw milk straight from the cow. Be a raw food vegetarian in some form. Lacto-ovo vegetarians only eat plant-based foods as well as dairy and eggs. Remember that all dairy and egg products need to be in their raw state. You can also eat only dairy and plant foods or only egg and plant foods. Eat a partial raw foods diet. You can still be considered a raw foodist by eating as little as 60% raw foods diet. This is something that is great for a beginner, but you also may want to stick with this exclusively as you get more experienced. These are just some of the things to keep in mind as you work through this course and decide to make the switch. If you are undecided if this is truly the lifestyle for you, you may want to have a 60% raw foods diet at first and not worry about omitting animal foods for now. You can always transition to something more dramatic as a personal choice later on in your journey. Critics of raw food diet. To be fair, there are critics of this kind of eating as well. For example, it has been said that people living in cold climates shouldn't follow a raw foods diet. For some people find that eating all raw food doesn't agree with them. Others don't feel as if the diet is very satisfying or tasty, and still others are not convinced that all the hype is true. Another thing that concerns a lot of people is the fact that the raw food diet lacks variety. Yes, you can prepare raw foods into an array of pleasing recipes, but cooked food is part of what makes eating so interesting. Critics of the raw foods diet believe that raw foods should be eaten, but it is okay to have cooked food as well. It is also important to understand that some foods, like tomatoes, show an increase in their health benefits when they are cooked. If eaten raw, they're still delicious, just not as nutritious as they could be. So, as you make the decision whether or not to change to a raw food diet or continue eating cooked food, keep in mind that it isn't for everyone. It is important to check with your doctor before undergoing any drastic changes. Note that as you make this switch, you may experience some gastric discomfort. As your body adapts to a new, healthier way of eating, these symptoms should subside. If they don't go away, you should see a doctor. This discomfort, however, can be minimized if the changes are made gradually, not dramatically. Remember that it is important to see a doctor if you are deciding to make the switch. If you have health problems, they may want to monitor your progress.